Alrighty, and welcome back to all of you Descended Masters, because of course we are all Descended Masters on a journey of remembering more of who we are. So what is on my mind this week? Well, I found myself waking up with some anxiety in my personal life and then also in the collective. And what has happened this week? Well, it has been the Israel story with the Hamas attack. So I found that was reverberating my system, and also I've been very much over-involved in the Ukraine-Russia issue, and I know I've been pulled in there. So I want to share some pointers on this, the theme of the events, of world events, because there's a very strong sense of almost like apocalypse in the world, and not only at the political level, but also personal. People are under stress for a number of causes. Almost there's not one part of life that is untouched by changes happening in the world today. So what's going on? If we look just at the major political things like Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Hamas, we wonder how on earth we can get unstuck from this, how these problems can ever be solved. So I had some anxiety of this, and when I sat down to work through it, I recognized firstly myself in over-involvement, and I got sucked into a duality of right and wrong and choosing sides. I found that I'd chosen sides, and this wasn't sitting well with me anymore. So I wanted to look at it, and this is what I'm going to share with you. Okay, so first thing to get, as we're light workers and we feel we have like a starseed mission and stuff, we will tend to be quite involved in issues in the news. And not these particular issues I've mentioned, and perhaps others, more like local issues. We get involved, right? We wish things could be better. We want to change things. But when there are these huge things that we cannot change, we wonder what we can do at all. We start to feel useless. So here's the thing. Our work as light workers is primarily not to be involved in solving those 3D issues, unless it's our job. Maybe we work for the United Nations, or maybe you are called up to military service or something, then you almost have no choice, you're involved in it. Okay, but what about the rest of us? So here's really what the deal is. The anxiety is coming from the fact that that 3D world is actually so broken, it almost cannot be fixed. It will take a very long time to fix. So we're racked with frustration and fear. The first realization really to get is that it can't be fixed, not by us, not by now. And that maybe it doesn't even need to be fixed, because maybe that's not our work. Our work is to resonate from 5D consciousness, which is I am, because that is a place beyond duality. So right now, when we're overly involved in the politics of it, we get sucked into duality, and we think we know who's right and who's wrong. If you're feeling triggered by any of it, and if you think you know who's on the right side and who's on the wrong side, it's almost certain one's not seeing the full story, and that it was sucked into choosing sides, which is dualistic. That's not our role here. So I want to offer you a profound practice, which you can use in this instance and in any other instance in life. And in fact, on this channel, we're going to devote ourselves to this simple practice. The first is let go of the circumstance. Okay, so take your awareness. You can do this now. If it's for politics, do it on the politics. World events, do it on world event. If it's a personal, something in your personal life, including health, pain, abundance, financial issues. Okay, assume for a moment that you've done your best to fix those things and they remain unsolvable. First step, give yourself permission to take your attention off trying to solve it. So in other words, let it be as it is. Okay, so then I'll be going into present. And present begins with accepting things as they are, including your discomfort about accepting it, including your resistance, including your inability to accept it. So can you in this moment accept your resistance? You're wanting to do something but not knowing how. a feeling of anxiety. So your only task in this initial phase is just saying yes to what is. Can I say yes to this experience just for now? You just try that, just feel this into your energy field as you practice this. So now we're entering the now. And you can enter the now with your negative thoughts and sensations intact. You don't have to get rid of them first. That getting rid of would itself be a movement of the now. Okay. So now you might notice that there's discomfort in your body somewhere, or in your mind, but there might also, if you listen, if you feel it very carefully, there might be a more subtle sense of peace or stillness around the discomfort. And that only reveals itself when you completely let go of having to solve it. So just see right now if there's some sense of stillness, like around. And that is almost it's not generated from the body, it comes from being, okay? So now we start to notice this feeling of being. Now really, step 2, maybe we call it step 3. You've turned from circumstance, so that's the false, that's the illusion world, it's duality. Now turn to what is true. And what is true? What is the only thing you can know? What's the only thing you can truly ever know? The only thing you can truly know is, right now, I exist, or you exist. So if I ask you, do you exist? You'd say yes. If I say, how do you know that you exist? I just know. So that knowing is the same as your existence. So know your existence. And that's simply, I know that I am. So right now you can turn towards I am. And just have a sense of I am. And the knowing, feel in the knowing aspect. You know that you exist. So the I am knows itself. Awareness aware of itself. So why are we doing this? Because it's the only thing you can know for truth. So we're turning to truth as an antidote to what's out there, which we can't know fully. So now what happens to you, not what happens within you as you turn towards I am. Just try it out for a little bit and see what happens. I am. The knowing of I am. Do things start to feel a little bit simpler, a little bit more at ease? And from I am, when you feel into your body and energy field, there might still be some tension, there might be some stress, but deeper there's the I am. That which is the only thing that is true. Okay. So now that exercise you can continue for as long as you like. You can sit for an hour meditating, but we're not going to do that now. The message is just to turn from what is the appearance of duality, find the sanity again within the I am. Okay, there's another step, of course, from I am, from this relative peace that you might have discovered just in the session. When you look again at the situation out in the world or in your life that has caused stress, what is a more beneficial attitude to have towards it, or way of looking at it? And let that answer just come forth from I am. Okay. So maybe something appeared for you now, or maybe we don't really have the time for that, but it's something you can practice on your own. Firstly, step 1, recognize that what you're seeing out there is partial truth. Allow it to be as it is. So step 1, just stop all your efforts to fix. Step 2, turn towards yourself, turn to what is true. The only knowable thing is I am. Rest in I am. Notice around you the subtle sensations of being an I am. And this is your I am presence. This is These subtle good feelings are not generated from the body, they are from being. They're independent of any circumstance. It's causeless. Okay? Then from this place of causeless peace, look again at your situation with a kinder eye and see, if anything, what wants to change, or just a new attitude. That is the work, my friends. That is the Lightworkers' work. To be that presence, to demonstrate the presence, to hold the space. So while the world is going crazy, just realize there's so much out of your control. Your job cannot be to control it. So our work is to be present. So then you look at the situation from presence. That takes quite a bit of work. That takes huge work, in fact, to ground yourself, to not be drawn back into that cycle that the news generates. A cycle of duality and choosing sides. Okay, try that out and let me know how it goes. Let me know your experiences. And of course, if you enjoy this, do like and subscribe. We're going to be doing a lot more talking about this very subject